Hey guys, so this video is going to be about food prepping and how really easy it can be. A lot of people get overwhelmed, a lot of people don't understand how to food prep, or they think there's this magic behind it. So we're basically going to take you through what our typical food prep looks like. Usually we do a little bit more food because we try to do it so it lasts a week. However, for the sake of the video and because we already do have some food prepped, we are gonna do roughly about half of what we would normally do. And one thing that we're not gonna do in this video is gonna be carbs, because long story short, we have family coming over later and we're gonna be doing carbs. We're gonna use those carbs throughout the week too, and then make some.
And carbs are really easy to make though. I think the hardest, most challenging part is how to make your proteins and your vegetables be tasty throughout the week and still enjoy them come Thursday. Yeah,
the problem is the meats for most people, if they're lean meats, they tend to get dry. And then with the veggies, most people don't like veggies because they really don't season them enough. They're scared of seasoning
and I'm really picky.
Salt. And she's really picky too. And
he's the one who does most of the seasoning, so he is the expert.
And also when it comes to the seasoning, since you brought that up, a lot of people get tired because they don't want to eat the same thing all the time. Well, truth be told, if you were to go to a restaurant 3 times a day and you are to get chicken, every single time when you order at the restaurants, they're gonna taste different, and it's because they use different seasonings. So I try to do the same thing. Yes, I'm gonna have some repeat seasoned meals throughout the week, but that doesn't mean that on the same exact day I'm gonna eat the same exact season 3-4 times a day. It may be my meal ones or my meal twos or so forth. That way you don't get tired of it. And then we're gonna take you guys through some of the seasonings that we use and some of the tricks that we have in order to make the foods tasty.
And one other thing, when we do have a lot, when we're cooking more proteins, there might be like 6 packages of turkey. We might do like 2 packages, 1 flavor. Like, so we might actually break up all the turkey in different flavors. This week we'll probably keep it.
Yeah, and also I was gonna say, for this we'll just do 1 flavor, at least for the turkey. For the chicken, which I already cut it out because I didn't feel like cleaning up the chicken and stuff. Then we'll do 2 because we'll be using the air fryer, which is a really cool thing if you guys haven't tried it. For the tofu, we can do the same thing. We don't do tofu every single week. We do it maybe every couple of weeks. Just because I like it. We enjoy it. Sometimes we do tempeh, which is also a fermented version of soy protein. And then we're going to be doing some beef. She is the beefaholic in the relationship. I'm more of the turkeyaholic. But anyways, we'll do that. And then I was going to mention too, not to overwhelm you guys, but if you cook, I always tell people to cook extra, because if you cook extra food, you can always freeze the meats and eat them literally 3 months later and they still taste fine. Think about when you go to the grocery store and you're buying frozen like chicken breast, seasoned, whatever, that's already cooked. All you have to do is preheat them. It's the same exact thing. The key, make sure that you season your foods good, use enough sodium, which is a natural preservative too. And then you have foods for a while. We do that when we go out of town too. We come back and we have the meals ready.
And a lot of people always ask me, how in the world do you eat foods that you cooked on Sunday on Thursday? So some people are a little more about doing that. You can always freeze it. So if you only want to have 2 days out or 3 days out, then just have your foods for Monday through Wednesday, freeze everything else, and then say on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, pull the foods out and then measure out the rest of your week.
And one thing worth noting too when it comes to timing is, according to the RDA, your meats, eggs, all of those guys, you can actually eat 7 days after you cook them. The one thing that they tell you not to do more than 3 or 4 days is rice, because it ferments and then it molds. Which most people will probably do rice over eggs when it comes to a 7-day period.
And I'm the same way. Like, I don't eat my proteins after 5 days.
Yeah, and then rice, potatoes, and eggs are probably the one things that you don't want to freeze. They just don't taste good. They get freezer burn really easily.
And I like only doing those between 3 and 5 days at the max.
And you can get really creative with the eggs, which we're not going to do in this video actually, but if you don't do them the conventional way, you can always do little things like egg muffin things, and they come out really good. So alright, here we go. Alright guys, so starting fresh here, the first thing I'll do, because I know we'll be using the oven, is I'm gonna preheat the oven at around 375 probably. One of the things that you'll notice with me, and this drives people crazy, is I don't measure, I don't count, I don't know how long it's gonna bake for. I literally just throw stuff together, and the cool thing is it tastes different every time. The negative thing is you'll never get the same thing again if you love it. So,
which makes me sad some weeks.
yes. So a couple of things that I'll start doing here, you can probably get closer, is I'm gonna quote unquote spray coconut oil on everything that I'll use, air fryer, just so it doesn't get sticky. And then I'll get the pan here, which this pan is actually to make paella. It's from Spain, but I use it to saute just about everything.
It's the best pan ever.
Best pan for sauteing, and let me tell you guys what I'll do. So, I'll start with, let me start with the air fryer. Oops. And for this, I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way right quick. For the air fryer, I cut the chicken already. And at the kitchen, baby. I cut the chicken already, and so all I have to do is season it. And for the seasoning, I wanted to do this in front of you guys, so you guys realize that there's no magic thing behind it. So I always start with salt. It doesn't matter what seasonings I use after. I always add salt. And like I said, don't be scared of salt. Salt is excellent for you. So I'll leave this out because I'm gonna keep using it. Then I tend to do, because I do spicy food and Ashlyn doesn't, I actually tend to do spicy stuff. So I just picked up another one, which I'm almost out of. This one from Trader Joe's. It's just a chili lime seasoning, whatever. And I add, see, it doesn't really last me that long for a reason. So anyways, I'll do that one. And then for the other one, I can probably do something like this. Sure, for chicken, sometimes I've used lemon pepper, sometimes I do African and or Arabic blends. It really depends. This is one of my favorite ones that I picked up lately for Chinese.
Which one was that?
It's a Chinese 5-spice blend, really good stuff. Then once again, I add my seasonings. I want my foods to taste good. I don't discriminate when it comes to seasonings, so that'll be in for now.
That was the biggest thing I had to learn.
Yeah.
My thing was I was not seasoning enough, and then I watched how much he seasoned, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. And then Braxaminas, this is probably my favorite form of sodium, and I just added to a lot of different things, and you guys will notice this throughout, especially with the green beans. This is probably my secret when it comes to the green beans. Then let's see, trying to think. Oh, yeah. So for the hot ones, I'm gonna throw some hot sauce, just because we like hot sauce on my side. And this is what I do, guys. Really simple. And I'll still have to get my hands dirty when I do this, but this just kind of gets everything going. And I'm showing you everything because I want you guys to realize that there is no
secret.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know a lot of people will cut the videos and whatever. I just want to be very straightforward and true with you guys. So I'll start with Ashlyn's just because I want her to have the back. And you can get closer on this one, to have the back taste, the aftertaste of the spiciness. So with the air fryer, really cool stuff. If you haven't used one or gotten one, you definitely want to get one. They it makes your foods taste like they're fried, and what it does is you basically do the it's the same technique as when you get wind burnt from being outside for so long. It's just really hot air circulating super duper fast in here.
And you don't stack the chicken then, right? So
No, you don't. You want to have a little bit of space in between. Yep. And usually I'll do this for at super high frying heat, whatever, for about probably 24, 23 minutes, okay? So
and how do you know when it's done?
It'll be really nice and crispy on the outside, and then it's gonna be, and I still, like, when I pull one out, like, I'll cut it and you guys will see that, just to make sure that it's cooked on the inside. Then let's jump into the turkey. My hand is dirty, but there's a reason why I don't care right now. Let me move the veggies out of the way. And I don't care because I'm literally about to like smoosh the turkey in here, and I'll tell you guys why. So
and just make sure you don't touch anything else with that hand.
Oh, never. Yeah. So this is 3 pounds total of 99% turkey. Why do I use 99%? It's not so much about the fats that I care about, because at the end of the day, guys, and I try to like do this before I even add any seasonings, because it'll be a lot easier to break it up, and then I just kind of smush everything together. Okay, and that's kind of like what it's gonna look like. Let me wash my hands. You already sprayed coconut oil in that.
Yeah,
I spray coconut oil on it so it doesn't get super stuck. Let me rinse my hands off. But I do 99% because, yes, it is a little bit more expensive than the 93.7, but at the end of the day, it's you get more protein for your buck. And then if you want to mix it with carbs, you don't have to be so concerned about mixing carbs and fats in the same meal. So I get to, if I want fats, I'm gonna do really healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, and things like that. I don't care so much about fats that may come from, you know, turkey. Although this turkey is doesn't have any antibiotics, hormones, or anything like that. So for this one, once again, literally it's just like pick one.
I think we go to the seasoning aisle every time we go to the grocery store.
We do, because I try to find really cool stuff. Like, see, this one is supposed to be for beef, so I'll probably say this one and maybe the hamburger one for your meats. And I'll do the Chinese one.
And so the turkey is just going to be for you.
The
Right?
turkey is gonna be for me.
Usually he'll ask, you know, is there any certain flavor that you're wanting this week? Just because we do have a variety of different flavoring and seasonings.
Yeah. So this one is also from Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's. It's called 21 Seasoning Salute. And I'll show you guys a trick. And a lot of times I'll get a little bit deeper into it and see what kind of herbs they put in them, and then just see what complements those herbs, basically.
And you've made stuff yourself.
Oh yeah, and sometimes, I mean, we have this little guy, we do use quite a bit of it, and most of those, they have labels that I put in them because
we've already used the original.
The original ones, and I actually changed some of the stuff that it comes with. And then once again, more salt, because salt is awesome. If you're contest prepping, salt is even better. The lower your carbs in your diet, the more salt you want. When you don't have a lot of carbs in your diet, just so you guys know, when you don't have a lot of carbs in your diet, you tend to flush more fluids through and not retain them as much. When you're flushing a lot of fluids through, you when you're flushing a lot of fluids through, you tend to get rid of a lot of electrolytes, and sodium is definitely the one electrolyte that you really don't want to be getting rid of. So once again, I would normally pour liquid aminos in it. If not, I've used soy sauce also. Like, soy sauce would be something that I would use with the Chinese one, for example. I do like every once in a while pour in a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And my tradition, you guys may think I'm crazy, but every time I use it, I take a shot. And because it's my house and I'm the only one that does this, I take it directly from the bottle. Really good stuff. A lot of digestive benefits to it. And then I feel like if I left it like this, it would be really tasty, but it would be a little on the drier side. So this one you can get creative and do something like a salsa, for example, which we bought this one last week for I think chips and salsa basically. And I'll just pour some. Okay. So
you just try to add something so that it helps with the dryness?
And sometimes, I'm not going to do it on this one because I added the salsa, but a lot of times I'll do mustard. And just enough to kind of
So kind of like a more liquid condiment.
Yeah, absolutely. Then let's see. Okay, so let's jump into the greens for a second. So green beans, you can probably get closer on this one. I get a lot of our greens frozen, and most of them will come from Costco. This is Ashlyn's favorite. And then my actual favorite is going to be this one, which is a blend that has quite a bit of stuff. And you like this one too, though.
I do, just not all the stuff that's in it.
Right. So...
Again, I'm the picky one, so...
These are frozen, once again. And then what I do is, I fill it up halfway. One fell back there somewhere. I fill it up halfway, okay? And here comes the good stuff. So, Bragg's aminos. Okay. Then I gotta get turkey bacon bits. They're right here. This is like the secret weapon.
Those are my favorite.
Turkey bacon bits. I get this at Kroger. It's actual bacon. On the negative side, for my health freaks, they do have nitrates in them. But my hands are wet. But they a little bit of it goes a really, really long way, guys. There you go. And if you get closer, they can see how much I pour in it. Usually I'll do about that much. I'll finish pouring, and sometimes I use this liquid smoke, just a little bit. It just adds a really good kick to it. And I'm missing salt, which I'm gonna have to refill probably. Once again, not afraid of salt. Salt is freaking awesome. Okay, then I'll actually get it going. Once again, folks, this is every week type stuff. We do a little bit of variety on the veggies, and these are our staples. So this week I decided to do what we do the absolute most of on a weekly basis. A little trick that I do,
which is very loud.
Like a perfectly blended. And I'll do this a couple of times throughout the time that I'm cooking it, and until it gets hot enough to where I can't do it anymore. So oven is ready at 350. Chicken is going. You come over here. Now I'm gonna jump into the tofu wagon. Tofu wagon, probably gonna do this with, I'll spray coconut oil spray. I'm gonna make this the absolute simplest way of, and probably not the tastiest, but definitely the fastest and the simplest way of doing tofu. You wanna drain it. Usually, I get extra firm, not firm. They didn't have extra firm, so I ended up getting the firm one for the video. But you drain it, and usually once you pull it out of the package, you want to press it for about 45 minutes or so in between plates and napkins. I'm not going to do it for the video, and I'm not going to do it also because 90% of the time when I'm food prepping, I'm rushing and I don't do it.
So what does the pressing do?
It just makes it a little bit firmer and drier, and the drier it is, the more flavors it can absorb too. Tofu is something that does not need to be cooked. It's already how it is.
But it just has no flavor.
Right, it has no flavors. When you cook it, it adds, it grabs all the flavors that you cook with. So how do I usually cut it? Halfway. Halfway. What's a good serving of tofu, people may ask? Well, let me show you guys how I do this too. A good serving of tofu, maybe half a block for most people, okay? For most people.
So you would get 2 servings out of one package?
Yeah, usually. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna do 2 different seasonings for this one. I'm gonna do a spicy one, which is a garlic sriracha one that I just got recently that caught my attention. And I have a feeling Raul is going to be eating this one and not Ashlyn.
Yes.
If this thing even wants to come out. So can I just rub it? And literally from here, guys, I know there are better ways of doing it. I'm telling you guys the way I usually do the stuff.
Which we're usually always rushing.
Yeah, and I can tell you I've been doing this for...
And it turns out really good. I mean...
Oh yeah, they're tasty because of the seasoning though. But I've been doing this since 2007 religiously, and I do not get tired of eating my foods, and it's because I make them tasty. Tasty is key. So there's that, okay? And I'm gonna put this on broil probably. So now the second one. Once again, drain it, squeeze it, whatever. When it comes to tofu, you certainly want to make sure you're getting organic or at least non-GMO. Tofu coming from soy, heavily sprayed with pesticides and all of these things that are far from healthy. So it's like grabbing a health food and making it the worst it can possibly be. Once again, this one is gonna be, I got it on sale at Kroger, and that's why it caught my attention. And it's some type of African-inspired vibrant and savory blend. Once again, I've used it before, really tasty. I'm not afraid of touching my foods, if you can't tell. And the tastiest ways I've cooked tofu, it's actually cutting it in smaller pieces, sauteing it, and then mixing it with veggies, which is almost like when you go to a Thai restaurant. That's kind of like what you get. If you've never had tofu before, you're afraid of it, don't make it yourself the first time, especially this way. Go to a restaurant and try it at a restaurant. A Thai restaurant will probably be your best.
I think it's a Thai restaurant is the best.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put this one up
because we've even had tofu at like Whole Foods and it's not even.
No, it's actually not. Sorry, Whole Foods, but it's just not. Yeah. Then, okay, so the turkey needs a little bit of mixing. So if you guys come here, I'll show you one of my little tricks. I actually do this around it, and that's gonna push some of the flavors out and then some of the heat in. And this is all I'm gonna do until I touch it again in like 2 minutes or so. But basically, I'm just kind of like moving everything around. Nothing technical, nothing super crazy. It's literally what it is. Now it's veggie time. This one's also gonna go in the oven. The best way to cook these veggies is definitely in the grill. If you grill them or saute them, they're awesome. But they're gonna go in the oven today.
As you can see, we try to cook as much all at the same time.
At the same time, make it quick, fast, and easy. And you can do a food prep for 2 people in literally 2 hours. What seasonings to use? Let's see. Let's throw in some salt. And maybe lemon pepper will be a good one for this. Only one way to find out, guys. And then this is probably all I'm gonna add to this. Once again, don't be afraid of seasoning. Boom. This goes in. So that's gonna be done in a little bit. Shake it up. I'm about to stir this, so if you wanna come on this side. Different ways, people do it in different ways. This is personally what I do. And then I come kind of like in different angles, because if you start pushing, then the pan pushes. Some of the stuff will get stuck at the bottom, so I just kind of like scrape the bottom first. And then I go into the sides. Once again, this is far from being dry right now, and we want to keep it that way. Heat, as you can see, it's just a little past medium, but it's not super high heat. Same thing for
Which I think was one of my big mistakes that I was doing.
Too much heat? Or not enough?
No, like too high.
Too high, yeah.
Yeah, because it was drying it out. It just didn't have like time to just cook,
Yeah.
like savor.
And also a really good trick, I didn't do it in the video because it does take a little bit longer. I did pull it out. Is I tend to use this before, which is a pepper and onions blend, and I'll saute them, I'll pull them out, and then when it gets a little farther than this stage, I'll add it. And it adds a lot of really good flavor, and it adds a lot of good, like it keeps it from getting so dry. And then
You have
also,
like the juices,
yeah,
I guess, from
yeah. And then also garlic, which I'll add some garlic in a second. Right quick, when it comes to the seasonings, sodium, when it comes to the fish, this right here is probably one of my favorite ones, and the one that everybody will be like, what? Old Bay, guys, lots of freaking sodium. But I'll tell you though, yeah, this is 140 milligrams for a quarter of a teaspoon, literally like a pinch. However, I like my foods to be good. I'm not scared of sodium. Yes, there are better sodium options out there, like Himalayan pink salt and Celtic sea salt.
But we just don't do that all the time. So
well, I will add salt to this.
Yeah.
You know,
But what
so
I'm
I'll make
saying
sure I
is
have my good salt.
we don't use that seasoning on a constant, regular basis. It's just.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is very sporadic though. I mean, it may be once a month that I may use a little bit of it though. So, anyways, I'm gonna let everything get to the next stage, and then we'll start this second part in a second. So if you come in a little bit closer, it's at that point. I just stirred it once since I stopped the video. It's been 6 minutes actually, and that's ready. I grab garlic, and I'm very good with garlic, and I love garlic, if you can't tell. So let me stir this right quick, and once I stir this, I'm gonna get the chicken out of the air fryer. I have to check in the oven actually, see if what that's looking like. And then it comes to the tasting part, and I'll go through that in a second because a lot of times I'll end up adding more stuff to it. So let's see. That's what it looks like. So what I'll do, I know this one is ready for sure. I'll grab the thickest one, which is this one, okay? And I will cut it in the thickest
the same
part.
thing you would do if you were putting it in the oven.
And to me, I want it to be a little drier, so I'm actually gonna put it back in, just because I think that it could be. I think it's good. I just want to play it safe, personally. But the smaller ones, I'm definitely gonna pull those out because I know for sure that they are ready. So I'll now leave that one there too, and so basically, I'm literally gonna put them back in.
So just those larger ones.
Yeah, just I want to eat this one. And I'm gonna do it for probably 5 minutes. So I'll leave those there. I already stirred this. Oven still got a probably good 20 or so minutes to go. So we'll do another pause, and then whenever this is ready, I'll probably swap with Ashlyn. That way she can start portioning some of the stuff out, and then we'll start with the beef, and we'll swap out the two chickens.
So my part is not making the foods taste good. As we know, I'm not the best cook, so I tend to jump in and I will start measuring everything out, and he's already swapped out the chicken, so we have that going, but sometimes as soon as these are done, that's when I'll jump in and I will start measuring. So we have all of our Tupperware in here. We have his containers are a little bit bigger, and then mine are a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna pull some of these out, grab our scale. All right, and then I'm actually gonna get a spoon because that one is not the, we'll use this one. No, we'll use this one. I can't make a decision.
Just that one. That's gonna be messy.
This one?
Yeah, because
I know, but that way it doesn't have.
oh,
Don't I normally measure this?
huh? No, I'm the one that does.
Don't try to take all the credit.
There you go. Here. And how much are you doing?
For you, I'm doing 6 ounces.
Yep.
So I'm not quite there yet.
By the way, this scale, guys, we have no financial affiliation whatsoever to this company, but we've had them for 5.5, 6 years.
Pretty much ever since we
And
worked
I've
together.
changed the batteries twice, and they are freaking awesome. Very exact, different. You can measure in grams, you can measure in just about anything.
And I'm just putting these to the side for now because we don't have the veggies ready. So once the veggies are done, then I'll add those.
Tofu is still going on, still watery, and because it's firm, it's never going to be as crispy as the other one, and then the other veggies down there are still going. And if I was to do 6 trays total of the turkey, I would usually most likely freeze once. I would let it cool and then put it in like a gallon-sized Ziploc bag and let it get to room temperature, and then put it in the freezer. So yep. And while she's doing that, I pulled the chicken out and I put more of the other chicken in there. Once again, you want it to be crispy and just nice, and I love the air fryer because they're so crispy on the outside, yet they're very nice and I don't like using the word moist, but moist on the inside. So pum, pum, pum. And I did taste the chicken and the turkey, and it was good, so I didn't add anything. That's why we didn't do more of a behind the scenes video, basically. But usually I'll taste it, and if it needs salt, if I feel like it's lacking the flavor, I'll definitely add something to it, and just mix it up and shut it off. Also, if you have a hard time having your turkey where it dries, as soon as you finish cooking it, cover it and shut it off and let it sit for a second. But I'm not sure if you can catch this on camera, but it's still kind of wet on the bottom of the pan, and which is showing that the turkey is actually, you can see it right there, see? It's showing that the turkey is not gonna be dry. If it does turn out to be dry, you can always add salsa, mustard, if your diet allows barbecue sauce, which barbecue sauce to me is more with the chicken, not so much with the turkey. But anyways, green beans going strong. They're about to be done. You can see a little turkey bacons. They're so freaking good, and they add a lot of flavor to it. So we'll finish measuring, and then we'll start as soon as we put the beef in. So we're about to start doing the beef once again. And it's pretty much where we had the turkey. I don't think it's a big deal, but so for the beef is one of those things where I always tell people, like, try to go with a grass-fed, non-GMO, hormone-free, antibiotic-free, just because of the amount of fat that needs to be in it. You do want it to be more so on the on the cleaner, on the healthier side. And also I personally don't always go for the super duper fatty beefs, because I much rather add fats like avocado and stuff like that as opposed to just having beef. This is a 96.4. Sometimes we get 94.6, 93.7. I usually tell people 93.7 and up tends to be, for what we do, probably the best option. So once again, same thing as before. Smush it all up. And I did this because I expose more beef to the flavor once I add the seasoning to it. So seasoning wise, we're gonna pick one of those two, whether it's the hamburger seasoning or the carne asada. I can't remember which one I did last week. Do you remember?
I don't.
So let's go with carne. I think it was hamburger. So let's go with carne asada. once again, I add seasonings to it. I'm not afraid of it. And I keep telling people that and repeating myself because I can tell you how many times I ask people when they get tired of their foods, if their foods are good, and they're like, yeah, they're okay. And it's because they don't add enough seasoning, enough sodium, enough anything to it. So there goes to that. And then I'm also gonna go ahead and start it up. But I'm also gonna add a little bit of mustard. Mustard tends to be really, really good in beef. And this is just regular mustard, no artificial colorants. That's how you want mustard to be. You don't want the artificial stuff. How much mustard? I don't know. Just add some. I mean, seriously. And then, because that was carne asada, this is what we were talking about before. This may have cilantro in it. If it doesn't, or it doesn't say it, then you would do cilantro. I don't have cilantro, so I'm actually gonna do parsley if I happen to have any parsley, which I do. Just a little bit, not a whole lot. Just because I don't know how good it's gonna taste with the carne asada stuff. But once again, you can add stuff. Sometimes celery salt, cumin, turmeric. I'll add a little bit of turmeric to it. I think turmeric can be, I'm out of turmeric. No turmeric on this one. Oh no, I do have turmeric actually, it's in here. So anyways, you can basically just add different seasonings or spices to it to kind of boost up the antioxidants and the nutrient density of the foods that you're eating outside of the pre-made seasonings that you may get. So how much? That tends to be pretty good for turmeric because it's a very strong spice. And then once again, we're just gonna let it happen. This is just about done. And I'm gonna let Ashlyn kind of take over that part, but you can see what it's looking like right now. And once again, these are gonna be really tasty. I personally like it more like these ones, where they're more like saggy, but in my opinion more flavorful. And then Ashlyn likes it more like this. So I'm staying with Ashlyn's way on these ones just because I do have, and I tend to take these little guys out. Just because I do have my veggies in the oven, so I tend to make this the way she likes them. Checking on this one real quick. Tofu, it's, once again, it's not extra firm, so it's not gonna get too firm, but I'll let it sit for a little bit longer, and then the veggies will be ready probably in about 5-10 minutes maybe. We'll be back. Over here, so this is what the beef is looking like right now. I would say probably another 2-3 or so minutes. It's still on the a little bit higher than medium, and I probably cooked the majority of my stuff on this temperature. If you like super duper done beef, then I would keep going. For me personally, I do raw beef. Like, I wouldn't do a full serving of raw beef, but I eat raw beef. That comes more from the Arabic traditions. Anyways, then these little guys are actually ready. And so these are the non-spicy, and then these are the spicy ones. I can totally tell that all of these guys are ready except for maybe that one. So I'm gonna pick on this one, cut it in half. And that's actually ready. So all of these are ready. So basically, I love the air fryer because they're so easy to use. So I'll let this cool. In the meantime, the stuff in the oven is probably gonna be ready. I'm pretty sure it is. So I'm gonna pull it out so you guys see what it looks like, and then I'm gonna let it cool for a second. So tofu's coming out, and I'm actually gonna put this here. I'm gonna put this here real quick, and that will fit here. And these little guys are out. Sometimes I let them get a little bit more, I guess, toasted. Out top, or roasted. What do you call it? Toasted, roasted.
Crispy.
And crispy. There you go. And but that's definitely gonna do it. So I'll pass it on to Ashlyn. Do you want to take over in terms of the veggies and all that stuff? Let's do a hand swap, probably easier.
Alrighty.
So, and this is what we have going on so far, just so you guys know. These are her meals, and there's going to be 4 little containers here because she does 1 lean white protein a day, and then a darker fattier protein a day is what her current diet, I guess, looks like. If you want to call it a diet, it's more lifestyle, honestly. So,
Since the green beans are my favorite, I am actually going to fill all of my containers up first, and then whatever is left, we'll
go
see where
to
they
me.
go.
Little trick here, guys, right quick. If you have a lot of fluid on a lot of liquid on the meals, you can always do this, and then it's actually going to help you dry out the pan. I personally try not to do that because I want them to be dry, and because these are already cooked, I actually will leave it like that, and then when I scoop it out, but I leave the liquid there. So right quick, I'm gonna go ahead and fill these little guys out while she is portioning out. I'll show you guys what she's doing here.
And we don't really measure the vegetables because they're vegetables. I mean, they're not, you know, 1 cup versus a cup.
Which I mean, I have to say that's probably about a cup that you have there.
And
you know,
get used to what a 1 cup serving looks like.
And from a coaching perspective, something that I've always told people is, if I tell you to do 1 cup of rice and your 1 cup happens to be a cup and a half or 2 cups, as far as we continuously base it off that, you know, then you're good. Because if you're getting fat at 1 cup, which is for you a cup and a half, for example, and then reduce it to 3/4 of a cup, your cup and a half may now be a cup and a quarter or so, which is going to have an impact on your body composition. So that's one of the reasons why I play everything off macros, measurements as opposed to macros, just because I know that there can be a little bit of a portioning changes, variance between my clients. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off. So we're almost done with the food prep, guys. I'm gonna put more the remaining of this chicken in here. I cannot do that one-handed because I also have to spray a little bit of the coconut oil in there. But this is pretty much what it's gonna be looking like. Snacks wise, shameless plug, we obviously use the high fit protein powders, and we'll do that in a shaker cup like this one. And sometimes with the almond milk. You can see the other videos that we've done for those. Another one of the things that we do is going to be the pre-workouts and the BCAAs, fish oils, probiotics, and we'll talk about snacks. Snacks will be another really good video actually to do. If you guys have any ideas of videos or need help in terms of how we're able to sustain this lifestyle for so many years, please comment, email us, whatever, Instagram us, Facebook us, and we'll get working on them. To us, this is an everyday type deal. It's a every week tradition, and it has been for years. Whether we're dieting or not, it's a great way to...
The biggest difference with what we do right now versus food prepping is we're obviously a little more calculated, I would say, during contest prep. So we would make sure that literally...
And the freedom.
Yes, yeah. So we would literally make sure that we're getting our exact carbs, our exact fats, whether that comes in snacks or meals or protein shakes. We would just be a little more calculated, I guess.
And I say freedom too, in terms of, hey, if our friends call us and they say, hey guys, we're having a get together tonight, coming over, we'll eat whatever they're eating and enjoy a glass of wine or a beer or whatever. And this may be outside of our quote unquote cheat meal that we do every week, which last night was Saturday. We didn't do anything last night, but we're gonna do something tonight. So once again, we're always food prepping. I mean, like I said, we're not planning on competing anytime soon, anytime this year, for the matter of fact, but we're still food prepping. And if you guys have followed me, you know I always post my food prep pictures, although not every day, because you guys will get bored of literally seeing this exact same thing every day on different Tupperware. What were you gonna say?
also typically we'll just focus on the proteins and the vegetables because one, carbs are just easy to add to your plan, same with fats. But like I was saying, with contest prep, we would definitely be like, okay, we need how many servings of carbs. So we would be a little more precise with a food prep if we were actually doing a contest and prepping for a show. So that's kind of the only difference.
And we'll come back out just to show you guys the final look of what meal prep looks like.
So we pretty much are wrapping up with everything. All of our vegetables are done. We have one more batch of chicken going. We are gonna use the tofu as like a dinner throughout the week, and we'll cook fresh sides with it. So we'll probably add some vegetables and maybe some, I don't know, another fat with it possibly. So for right now, I'm gonna start measuring out my beef.
And we did cook extra chicken. So unless I run out of what we have here, which looks like I may, and then I'll just basically pull it out of the freezer, let it thaw out the night before, and yeah, and then just cook more veggies to go with it. You doing what, 3 ounces? Yours?
I am doing 3 ounces. Yep.
So once again, guys, food prepping is really easy, and let me tell you the amount of money that you save by food prepping is crazy, and the time that you save, because think about it, if you go to work and bring your meals, all you have to do in the morning is just grab your meals, put them in your cooler, and you're good to go.
And I always make sure that like we always have the meals separated in the fridge, so literally I will look the night before just to make sure that I know like what I'm grabbing, and I will just literally have everything laid out. So, and also one of the things I was going to talk about was I will also do my protein shakes. Like I'll kind of get them ready because I do mix other stuff in with them, and I kind of just get everything ready the night before. So in the mornings,
so like cream of rice, oats,
yeah,
fruits,
yep, anything that I'm going to add. So it's all ready the night before, and in the morning I grab everything, put it in my cooler. I will blend my shake if I'm doing one in the blender, and it takes not even 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Super, super quick.
And then when it comes time to lunchtime, guess what? Now you have an extra 30 minutes to do whatever you want to do, because you have to drive somewhere. You have to stand in line anywhere or wait for service if you go to a restaurant. In terms of cost, I mean, guys, when you go to on the lower end, say a fast food place, you're gonna spend $7 to $10 on a meal that's not nutritious, and a meal that's not gonna do you good in terms of health or body compositioning, and where you could get meals like this for literally $2.
When you break it out.
A meal, if you break it out, and you're getting nutrition, you're getting a lot of nutrients in here, guys. You're getting a lot of fiber, you're getting all the nutrients, the macronutrients that you need for your body compositions, and all the good stuff that has to do with skin, hair, nails, brain health is huge, healthy fats, you know, if your diet permits, shoot, add olive oil to your veggies, and throw in some avocado on the side, and
avocado is probably my favorite, especially
and
if
full
we do
eggs too.
Shredded chicken.
Tell them what you're doing right now.
Yeah, so I am only going to have 4 beefs this week because we're traveling on Friday, and so we had some beef left over. So I'm going to make sure that I have some when I come back. So we're actually going to freeze these along with, like he had said earlier, we're going to freeze some of the chicken. So when we get back from our trip, we don't have to worry about...
If we have time to cook when we get back the night before, then, hey, guess what? We already have meals for that day.
Yep.
So...
And I'm going to share some of my beef.
Yep. And that's also the time where the frozen, the steamable veggies, which I don't think they're healthy at all in terms of... The veggies are healthy, but when you put them in a microwave in a plastic bag, is far from healthy. But if you're doing that once every 6 weeks because you're rushed, because you didn't plan well or whatever, it's okay. It's better than going out and eating crap.
Or like tuna, we'll do a quick little tuna meal, you know.
And for tuna, you usually add mayo and mustard, right? And and then or avocado, and that makes a freaking bomb tuna salad. And me, I tend to go for carbs just a little bit more than I do for fats. As opposed to her, like I feel like my body just responds a little bit better that way. So is it good? So on my tuna salad, it's really just mustard, and then I add it to Ezekiel bread or so, and make almost like a tuna salad sandwich. So got the tofu's here, they're down there, and once again, we're gonna take a quick little picture at the end, or just a quick little glance video of what it's gonna be looking like when we're done.